6 questions that could shape the Premier League title race and top 4 battle. It has been said frequently down the years that the grueling festive period has the potential to make or break a Premier League season. Pep Guardiola has found that out that hard way. Just 3 weeks ago, that mythical time before everyone gorged on mince pies, quality streets and limitless supplies of cheese, the question was whether Manchester City could emulate Arsenal's 2003-04 Invincibles by going the season unbeaten. A run of 3 defeats in their subsequent 4 games, however, has seen City slump faster than your Grandad in his armchair after the Christmas Day roast, with Guardiola's side now 7 points behind the new league leaders and title favourites, Liverpool. Jurgen Klopp's men remain unbeaten, a place in the record books firmly in their sights. Spurs, still technically homeless with their new stadium no closer to opening, have even decided to make it a 3-horse race, smashing 6 and 5 goals past Everton and Bournemouth either side of Christmas Day to leapfrog City into second. Eden Hazard's timely return to superhuman form, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's purple patch and Manchester United's new manager bounce under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, means that the top 4 race is also simmering away rather nicely as the second half of the campaign approaches. With so much football still to come and so much still at stake, here are 6 questions which could shape the season. 1. Can Liverpool maintain their defensive resolve? Last season, the biggest problem opposing teams faced against Liverpool was how to keep their free-scoring front 3 quiet. This time around, it's how to score against them, with the Reds miraculously becoming one of the most resolute teams in Premier League history overnight. Ahead of Saturday's mouth-watering clash against Arsenal, a team with a passing resemblance to Klopp's Liverpool in the early days, Liverpool are on the verge of making English top-flight history. Should they keep Aubameyang and his pals quiet, Liverpool's record of 7 goals conceded in their opening 20 games would be unmatched in English football's 140-year history. Mental. Klopp swapped one handsome goalkeeper for another, but barring their good looks, there isn't much else that Loris Karius and Alisson have in common. The Brazilian has, a couple of jittery moments aside, been outstanding, as has Klopp's other expensive defensive recruit Virgil van Dijk, who in Chris Sutton's world, at least, is the best player in the entire world. While those two have been talked up most frequently, their supporting cast haven't been bad either. Andrew Robertson is a Duracell bunny of a left-back, Trent Alexander-Arnold is a playmaker disguised as a full-back, and Joe Gomez looks primed to be an England regular for the next decade. Even Dejan Lovren has been consistently excellent. City have outscored Liverpool by 8 goals and Spurs have only scored 1 fewer than their 43, but Liverpool's defensive record is setting them apart from their title rivals. Of the previous 18 Premier League title winners, only 8 didn't have the best defensive record in the division. Maintaining that stinginess will be key to their hopes. 2. Will Tottenham's momentum continue? Tottenham are notoriously slow starters and renowned for hitting their stride around Christmas time. In terms of performance levels, that has been true once more, but crucially, even when Spurs weren't blitzing teams in the opening weeks of the campaign, they were generally grinding out results. A North London derby defeat at the start of December is the only time Spurs haven't won in their previous 9 Premier League fixtures, and they even managed to avenge that result swiftly by beating their local rivals away from home in the Carabao Cup. That Spurs are in this position at all is down to Mauricio Pochettino's miraculous management. The Argentine has had to contend with a host of injury problems, not being able to sign anyone and wait patiently to shepherd the club into their shiny new home, yet somehow he steered Spurs ahead of arguably their best Premier League team ever at the midway stage. Maybe he really is magic. The emphatic 6-2 thumping against Everton showcased Spurs at their very best, with each member of Desk, Bill, Eriksson, Son and Kane for the uninformed, all amongst the goals. If Spurs can keep the quartet fit and firing throughout the second half of the season, they might just stand a chance of silencing the "but what have they won?" brigade. 3. How can Pep Guardiola restore Manchester City's balance? A downturn in results as dramatic as it has been unexpected. At the halfway stage, City have already been beaten more times this season, 3, than they were for the entirety of their title-winning campaign last term, 2. After tasting defeat just twice in their previous 78 Premier League games, City have conspired to lose 3 of their last 4. Just what the hell has happened to them? Sure, nobody can legislate for Andros Townsend slamming a 35-yard volley into the postage stamp, but once-in-a-lifetime wonder goals aside, Guardiola and City do have some problems that require urgent attention. A meeting with Liverpool is looming, after all. It is no coincidence that City's back-to-back defeats to Crystal Palace and Leicester occurred when Fernandinho, the club's only specialist defensive midfielder, was absent, while the lack of natural cover for Benjamin Mendy at left-back has also been brutally exposed. There was a stage this season where City were matching Liverpool defensively and massively outscoring them at the same time. After the 14th round of fixtures, City's goal difference was 15 better than Liverpool's, whereas now, it is level. Guardiola has to find a way to restore the perfect equilibrium between defense and attack, or it could soon be curtains for City's title defense. 4. How can Maurizio Sarri lighten the load on Eden Hazard? As the will he won't he move to Real Madrid saga rumbles on and on, Eden Hazard is just continuing to go ruthlessly about his business. The term one-man team, relentlessly spouted by football supporters on Twitter whenever a rival player is doing well, is of course, a nonsense, yet Chelsea are certainly over-reliant on their talisman. While Maurizio Sarri's Napoli side was a sleek, well-oiled machine with each department clicking into gear seamlessly, Chelsea remain a work in progress who are being motored on by their undisputed world-class star. Hazard has been sensational. Only 3 players in the Premier League have scored more goals than the Belgians 10, while he is out in front in the assists chart too with 9. His direct goal contributions, goals and assists, equate for 51% of Chelsea's 37 goals this season. In comparison, Mohamed Salah has contributed towards 41.8% of Liverpool's goals, while Harry Kane has contributed towards 35.7% of Tottenham's. The problem that Sarri has is that not only is Hazard Chelsea's best facilitator of chances, through one of his trademark dribbles or ability to conjure up chances, he is also their most reliable finisher. Until Sarri gets hold of a striker he can trust, Chelsea will remain overly dependent on their brilliant number 10. 5. Could Unai Emery's tactical tinkering hold Arsenal back? In this world, nothing can be said to be certain, except death and taxes. Judging by this season, perhaps a third certainty needs added to Benjamin Franklin's refrain: death, taxes, and Unai Emery making 3 substitutions. Emery has used his maximum complement of substitutes in all 19 of his Premier League matches in charge of Arsenal. While some managers struggle in the art of substitute making, Emery treats it as a game of chess in which one decisive move can impact the complexion of a game. Making game-changing substitutions defined Emery's start at Arsenal, with bench players coming on to score virtually every week, yet recently the magic touch seems to have deserted him, particularly during the 1-1 draw against Brighton, in which both Mesut Ozil and Alexander Lacazette were hauled off. Emery doesn't seem to have a great deal of patience with either, but there is no doubt that their withdrawal blunted Arsenal's attack at the Amex, leaving the informed Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang isolated. His tactical decisions have largely paid off, but overdoing it risks undoing his good early work in the second half of the season. 6. Will the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer bubble burst? Ed Woodward will have been hoping for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to be the complete opposite to Jose Mourinho, both on and off the pitch. Whereas Mourinho seemed utterly miserable to be at the club, Solskjaer has given the impression of a man who cannot believe his luck. It has been some contrast. The Norwegian enjoyed the perfect start to his interim reign as United swatted aside Cardiff City, a club with whom he had a chastening managerial spell 4 years ago, winning 5-1 before overseeing another convincing win at Old Trafford, this time a 3-1 success against Huddersfield. Solskjaer has made all the right noises in his press conferences, managed to get Paul Pogba focused and on form, and has looked to integrate the club's youth players into the first-team squad. All is going swimmingly so far, But how long will it last? Given a straightforward start against two of the division's poorer sides, it is difficult to tell how much United have really progressed under their former super sub. Only time will tell whether or not Solskjaer proves to be United's equivalent of Chelsea's Champions League winning manager Roberto Di Matteo or little more than a short-term fix. Manchester United board want new manager to build team around 4 players. Michael Owen's Premier League predictions, including Liverpool v Arsenal and Man United. Paul Merson launches fresh attack on Man United players and taunts Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.